And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to talk about the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend is unbelievable. Were you really just trying to help out a friend? Because what she was telling him to do was to leave his cell phone at home and then to get a rental car and to go pick her up 9 hours away. She is now like an online profile. Like, there's so much information on her now. If any guy tries to date her in the future and they don't look her up or any of that, or she sways them from... I want to talk about this insane story that just recently happened. All right, her name is Sherri Papini right here. If you don't know who this is, just know that she was a woman who disappeared back in 2016 and she was kidnapped during a jog. And apparently her captors ended up releasing her 3 weeks later after her whole news, her whole situation ended up going viral and making nationwide news. They ended up releasing her into some remote area at 4:30 in the morning, and a trucker picked her up. The trucker then reported her to the police or to law enforcement, and they ended up taking it from there. So I just want to quickly say that they also, during that time when she disappeared, like in almost every video that was talking about her or about her disappearance, there was like this little title, this little header that said super duper mom, which is funny because I never saw her do anything that was super duper or have extraordinary talents or unbelievable godly like abilities. I didn't see any of that, but apparently they will just put that title so they can just like get people to like want to watch or to like sympathize or whatever the case is. Nonetheless, it worked because it ended up going nationwide, and it started an investigation. So it's pretty interesting, okay? And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to talk about the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend is unbelievable. Like I was just like, what? Like everything just started making everything was just crazy. It was just starting getting crazier. So how did they figure out the boyfriend? Well, let me tell you in a couple of sentences, all right? So how did they figure out that the ex-boyfriend was a part of this? Well, after she came back, they ended up doing an investigation, and this investigation, you know, required that she gives up her garments, undergarments as well. And so they took her undergarments and her clothing, and then they ended up wiping it down for DNA, if it had any. And they ended up finding a sample of the DNA. And so like they checked to see the criminal records to see if they can find anybody, and they didn't find anybody. So now they were kind of at an impasse. So what they decided to do was they thought to themselves, you know what, man, what if we go to these ancestry testing companies and we can get, I don't know, maybe a match. Now, this is what I didn't know, okay? Apparently, you can go, if you're law enforcement, you can go to the courts and you can ask for permission to see if you can kind of retrieve those documents, those records, and the court approve, which is scary because now I'm thinking like, oh, wow, like I don't ever want to take a DNA test now because, you know, like, I mean, I'm never going to do anything bad, but just imagine like these companies are just kind of like giving up their information, their data to law enforcement. Even Apple wouldn't do that, which is crazy. But even Apple wouldn't even cooperate, because I remember this case where like this family was trying to crack into this iPhone and they couldn't because Apple has a privacy act or a privacy policy, and they didn't want to cooperate with law enforcement, which is insane. It's like, I don't know, you could take it however you will, but to me, I kind of see that as like, wow, they're actually going to stand up for their principles, you know, and the principle is that they won't cooperate with the police officers or law enforcement. In this case, these companies did cooperate with law enforcement, but that's up to you to decide whether you think that's the right thing or the wrong thing. But I'm not here to talk about that. Instead, I'm here to get to the ex-boyfriend. So now that they have a match, they figure out that this guy is apparently connected to this person's life, to Sherri's life. So they go out and go investigate it. They go to his home and they ask questions, and almost immediately they figure out that, yeah, this person does know Sherri Papini. But then like he wasn't talking, he wasn't cracking. After 53 minutes in, he finally cracks and he spills the beans. And he says something that's very particular, very, very, very unique, and very, like, it's highlighted. Out of everything in that video that I saw, that's the one highlight where I just left with my mouth open. Like, I can't believe that, like, there's people out there like this. He said this, okay? So, apparently, his idea was that he wanted to help out a friend. He just wanted to help him out. He said it as casually as I said it right now. And then law enforcement you know, oh, and then he says to law enforcement that like, oh, I thought we were gonna get together or something like that. I don't know what was gonna happen in the end. I think I'm paraphrasing. For all I know, that's not what he said, but something to that effect. And then law enforcement asks if, is it fair to say that maybe you're hoping that you guys could get together? Paraphrasing again, and then he replies with, no, I wasn't there. I wasn't there yet. So this is where I'm like, nah, bro. I think that you were probably expecting something. So when he says that he was, I'm just helping out a friend, a friend in need. When he says that, he says it so casually, but when you see the type of things that Sherri was asking him to do, it opens up your eyes and you start to think, were you really just trying to help out a friend? Because what she was telling him to do was to leave his cell phone at home and then to get a rental car and to go pick her up 9 hours away. Bro, I don't even know if I would even do that to like my closest friend. But he did it because he said that she was a friend in need, or it was just a friend in need. Bro, you have to have some sort of expectations. You probably have like something in your mind where you're all like, if I go get her, maybe something can happen. Who knows? Because people will do crazy things just to like, for love or for whatever the case is. Women will probably do it for love. Men would probably do it for sex. But it's crazy to me that you will drive 9 hours to help out somebody like this, especially when she's telling you to like follow these instructions. Like, bro, if that was like, I've had that before. I'm not even gonna say if that was me. I've had that before, but to a way smaller degree, not to that big degree where like I would have to go and like drive her or drive to go get or to pick up somebody 9 hours away. It was just close by, like 15 minutes away, and I didn't even want to do it. And he was just some friend, not a really close friend. Probably for a close friend I'll do it, but for like a casual friend, bro, like why am I gonna go out of my way to go like help you out like that? Like, and not to mention that this guy was very ungrateful every time I would help him. I used to help him out, but he's very ungrateful. And even then, even when I was like very generous, I still wouldn't go all the way out because I still had things to do, But apparently this guy had nothing to do for the next 9 hours and he ended up going out there to pick her up. So my question is, bro, why'd you do it? What did you really have in mind? Because he just told the officers that that he wasn't there yet. He wasn't expecting anything, or I don't know. That's kind of what the impression I got, that you weren't expecting anything, at least from what you were saying. But your action says different. And I highly suggest that you guys go watch the video. I'm gonna link it down in the description below. Go watch it, bro. And then when you guys watch it, you guys are gonna be like, nah, dude, you were definitely out there trying to get something, man. You were probably expecting to get with this woman because, face it, bro, this woman's a beautiful woman. Look at this. Of course she could use her looks to, I don't know, get men to do whatever she wants. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, Either way, though, she ended up blowing everything over, and like, she ended up getting sentenced to 18 months after the investigation concluded and everything was already figured out. And the final verdict was that she faked everything. So it's unbelievable to me that she did all this, because I was reading some of the comments in some of the videos of when she was sentenced, and a lot of them were saying, they were so upset. It was a lot of women that were upset, saying that I can't believe you would do this, because ever since her disappearance I was so afraid to go out and jog because I felt like I was gonna be kidnapped. It was stuff like that. And so that sucks. She damaged women like that. But also I this is one thing I want to just say, bro. Like, if she is now like an online profile, like there's so much information on her now. If any guy tries to date her in the future and they don't look her up or any of that, or she sways them from thinking that like, she was a different person back then and she's changed now, listen, bro, I don't know, maybe that's a guy with no standards, or he's just too kind and he wants to give her a chance. If I see a girl and she has an entire profile of her online faking an entire stunt nationwide, and she's known to be a liar, because in that same video that I linked below, her family talks about how she's a liar and they didn't really feel any sympathy towards her or something like that. It's crazy. So there's an online profile. I hope men in the future end up like figuring out that this woman's a potential liar, according to the investigation and according to her family members. And I hope that this dude, who his name, like, I'm not gonna say his name, but like, that's her current husband right now, and her current husband, it'll suck if he's still with her, because I understand that being in this position of being her husband, you know, you don't want to have to start all over. You have kids already, and you need the mom there. It is insane. This is why you got to be careful with who you get with. But I mean, you can't always predict stuff like this. But I don't know what was going on before she ended up disappearing. All I know is that it sucks that, like, you know, there's people I hear like this, and it's very difficult to navigate it once you're in a relationship with a woman like this, or even a man. But a man, I don't think a man would act like this. He would probably act a little different, probably more abusive, more physical. I don't know, but nonetheless, it's crazy, dude. I just kind of wanted to just share that because I thought it was absolutely insane. I thought that the boyfriend was just nuts to just go out there 9 hours to go pick her up. That is insane, bro. That's a new record. Honestly, like, I don't know of anybody who would do that for a girl like that. I know there's people out there who would give $10,000 to like a streamer, which is probably, no, you know what, man, that actually takes the cake. There's nothing that beats that $10,000 or even $500 to like your favorite woman streamer. E-girl, it's insane. I don't know, man. Anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. It's an insane story.